at the Marriott Center. This is the 68th meeting between these two. They used to belong to the Mountain States Athletic Conference between 1946 and 1962. All but 3 of the games in Provo were played at the Smith Fieldhouse. So here's the 4th meeting in the Marriott Center, and BYU controls the opening tip.
And this is a Denver team that went into Colorado State, another ranked opponent, and held their own. Really controlled that game for almost 10 minutes into the second half, led at halftime. So they feel like they can come in here and kill a giant in BYU.
Turnover for BYU, so we'll look at the starting 5 for the Pioneers. They had a tough one against 13th-ranked Colorado State last week, led at halftime, and got away from them in the second half. And head coach Jeff Woolbrin believes it prepared them for tonight. And a turnover by Jaxon Brenchley on the first possession for Denver.
And interesting that both teams turn the ball over. These teams don't turn the ball over. In fact, the University of Denver, the Pioneers, are one of the top in the country this year. Only 7 turnovers a game. That's an incredible number.
Starting 5 for BYU. Nell up for 3. Nell's been battling an illness last week and a half. Still says he feels lousy, but not bad enough to not play. He struggled 0 for 4 from 3 against Utah. Missed his last 5 for a shooter that's been right around 45%.
That's right. We both saw him today and almost in unison said, "How you feeling?" And he looked and said, "Terrible."
Dynamo falling away. And it's Waterman on the rebound. Lots of foreign flavor on these two rosters we'll get to a bit later on. Hall for 3. Cougars expecting to get right back to themselves here on their home floor after an ice-cold night of shooting up in Salt Lake on Saturday. Nell on the foul. Speaking of Utah, Jaxon Brenchley, a former Ute. And we'll see plenty of him tonight. There's Jeff Woolbrin in his 3rd season. 32 wins for the Pioneers, 15 last year, the most in the 7 previous seasons. So he's got a rebuild underway with the Pioneers. We had a great visit with him today, and he actually recruited Mark Pope as an assistant at Cal, trying to get Pope from the state of Washington. And Mark chose Washington, and Jeff said that was his first heartbreak as an assistant coach when a big-time player said, "No thanks, coach, I'm going somewhere."
And when you talk to Jeff, he feels like a veteran head coach, like he's been a head coach forever. He's been in the game for a long, long time and coached at P5 schools, a top assistant in a number of places, including Stanford, UAB, Virginia Tech, and Cal, as you mentioned.
Waterman brings it out. Here's Johnson around the back. Nell for 3. And Johnson on the rebound. Now he'll pop a 3 and knock it down. Johnson has been spectacular over the course of his career, 40% shooting threes.
When we asked Mark Pope what they learned about themselves up at Utah, he said, well, we learned that if we stay who we are, meaning push the ball in transition, shoot threes, even when you're not making them, is that Brenchley that gets a point down there, the Utah native, that in the end, we can still be in games, and we've got to stay who we are and be true to who we are. And, he said we had a chance to win that on the last possession, even though we didn't shoot the ball well.
Khalifa taps it out to Hall. Here's Nell again.
They're not going to let a few mysteries stop him from shooting threes. I'll tell you that right now. That was the message Mark gave us.
Nell 0 for 3. Here's Brenchley putting one up quick.
And 2 really good shooting teams not shooting the ball particularly well early in this game.
Khalifa, 14 straight assists without a turnover. He's backing into the lane. Turnaround left-hander. And the junior out of Egypt gets his first 2. When Khalifa's offense catches up to his ability to distribute the basketball, he is going to be a nightmare.
His assist-to-turnover ratio, we're going to show you a graphic in a bit here, is ridiculous.
Basket and the foul. And that is Dynamo going to the line, a chance at a three-point play. Waterman picks up his first.
Nice feed by Brenchley. So he brought the ball on the dribble to give him a high-low feed with a little wraparound bounce pass. Created that angle. So we've got to give Jaxon Brenchley a lot of credit on that one. Set that up for Tainamo.
Tainamo out of Helsinki, Finland. Played 12 games on the national team over the summer. His head coach said that was just such a game changer for him. And when we think of Finnish players, we think of Timo Saarelainen, who was a star at BYU back in the 80s.
And Tainamo is, he knows how to get to the free throw line. We saw him already to the line. He's a guy that uses his body. Look how he uses that body to create contact, and he gets to the free throw line. He's 29th in the country, top 30 in the country in free throw attempts.
Five to 4 BYU. Johnson's already hit 1 3. Here's Khalifa. Johnson for another 3. Waterman on the rebound, up and in.
When we talk about BYU, keeping who they are and shooting threes. The other thing that's been the hallmark of this team is they are a very gritty defensive basketball team that plays with high effort defensively and does a great job on the ball. And they go after the offensive glass with a passion.
That shot by Lopez Savicente, who checks into the game. Waterman left open for 3. Waterman missed 6 threes on Saturday night. Knocks down his first one tonight. BYU, when you took Nell and Waterman and Johnson's numbers and put them together, 1 for 13 shooting threes at Utah. You may never see that kind of night again from those guys. Battling inside and up with a nice shot is Lopez San Vicente out of the Canary Islands, Spain. That's his first 2. Another one of the foreign players here on the floor tonight.
And Jeff Wilburn's done a nice job of having consistency. Like, he's got veterans. He's got multiple veterans that have been in this program 3 years, and most of his big-time contributors are not first-year guys.
Tainamo in now with 4. And it's 10 to 8. Still nothing from Tommy Bruner. Waterman again. And Tainamo, who averages 8 rebounds a game, leads the team in rebounds. BYU just 2 of 10 shooting the 3 out of the gate. And Tommy Bruner just quietly biding his time. He's number 0. This is Craig. Now they distribute into the corner. A blocked 3-point shot. That one offered by Ado Ankra.
Trevin now got a piece of that. And I kind of ISO'd on Bruner that time down. He's got Spencer Johnson in his hip pocket. Oh, what a move.
Johnson.
That fake pass
He's got
was
5.
something. And Spencer Johnson, BYU's best on the ball defender. Most consistent defender over the last couple of years.
And look who he's assigned to.
Yeah, and he has been, and you see again, he tips the ball and creates the turnover.
That's off of Craig. It'll be BYU ball.
Pinned to Bruner's hip all game long so far. He hasn't seen the basketball because of it.
Timeout on the floor, 13:31.
11 inches. Of note, Jaxon Brenchley, representing Denver, is number 11 on that same list at 4.1 assists to every turnover. Guys?
Thanks, Spencer. And at practice today, we asked Khalifa, hey, you're having fun? And he goes, yeah, I am, with a big smile on his face. He's getting a lot of minutes now due to the Traore injury. He's on the bench now. This is Jaxon Robinson, Richie Saunders.
We talked about these two in the open. When these two come off the bench, things just happen.
And they happen right there for Saunders. He's got 2 at 13 and Saturday at Utah.
I mentioned Jaxon Robinson's instant offense. Richie Saunders is instant defense. But they're both unbelievably capable on the other end of the floor as well. Robinson's an excellent defender, and Saunders is a very capable scorer. So they bring a punch like no other. One of the best benches in the country this year is why BYU finds himself number 3 in the net.
Speaking of bench, that's where Bruner is at the moment. And Atiki Aliatiki picks up his first foul. BYU number 18 in the AP Top 25. They're number 17 in the coaches poll. More importantly, they're number 3 in the net rankings. And Mark Pope told us today that number means everything to BYU, even in December.
And he said that's one of the major points that they use, data points, to determine NCAA tournament, whether you're invited or not, what your seeding is. He goes, yes, it's important. we pay attention to it.
Isaiah Carr, 7-footer out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, gets his first 2. Robinson gets his first 3.
There's Mr. Offense that I was talking about. And BYU right now, this lead, 7-point lead, they have 3 offensive rebounds to none for Denver. So those 3 extra possessions have equaled 5 second chance points. That's the difference in the game right now.
Inside to the 7-footer. Blocked by Johnson. Brought down by Atiki. Johnson back to Saunders. Richie's got 4 quick points off the bench.
And all 4 are a result of how well he's moving without the basketball. Coming out, going hard on an out cut, putting his foot in the ground, going hard on the cut to the basket. And his teammates finding him.
Largest lead, 9 points for BYU. Craig picked up by Saunders. Now he's got it in the switch. Hall tapped out, but right to the Pioneers. Craig for 3. Out of bounds and off of Tyson Garf, another Utah product out of Kaysville, Utah. Timeout, 11:32 to go. In the first half, 19-10, BYU, 11:32 to go here in the first half. Dave McCann, Blaine Fowler, and Spencer Linton.
BYU so far holding Denver to 35.7% from the field, which is 5-14, and 0 for 4 from 3. BYU doesn't get enough credit for how good they have been as a 3-point defensive basketball team, one of the best in the country. Just 23.6% from that 3-point line our opponents shooting against BYU.
Trey Stewart in the game, running the point for the Cougars. He's got the ball. Nell on the baseline, foul going up.
And Nell, we really saw Nell for the first time this year because he's just his last season was completely injury plagued. And his reputation was this guy's just a knockdown 3-point shooter. He's a spot up guy. He's going to be on the outside. What he's shown us this year is if you push up on him and you're not balanced up, he'll put the ball on the floor and go by you, and he makes floaters and he gets to the rim. He's a good free throw shooter. So he's got a complete scoring game. He's not just a spot up 3-point shooter.
BYU struggled from the line, just 10 of 18 on Saturday at Utah. We mentioned Nell's been under the weather. And he'd probably appreciate us saying that's affected his 3-point shot.
Well, and he's
got a point so far tonight.
They've been a solid free throw shooting team.
Quick timeout as Bruner got caught in the corner. BYU surprised the Pioneers with some full court pressure. We'll keep it right here.
Yeah, that their number for the season now is 72.
Center in Salt Lake and South Dakota came in and stunned the Cougars 69-68.
And did they ever shoot it and play D? And this, as you mentioned, this is a rebuilding project for Jeff Wilbren. 11 wins in his first season in 21-22. Then they jumped to 15 last season. And he says there's steady progress. They want to improve on that 15 this year. And he's building it with guys that he hopes will stay in the program over the long term.
Tommy Bruner, number 3 in the country in scoring, averaging 24 points. Still looking for his first bucket, and he gets his pocket picked by Stewart, and then he gets it right back and takes it in for 2.
He was patient enough not to reach that time. Sometimes you see that frustration foul after a steal. That time he just played solid defense and got the steal.
Saunders gets his own rebound, knocks it in. 6 off the bench for Saunders.
Shooters know how it comes out of their hand and which way they're going to miss. It's like, oh, that one's a little long and to the right. So he tracked that ball down, knew exactly where it was coming off, and got the putback.
Bruner. This is Brenchley. To the Latter-day Saint mission to Taiwan. Mentioned he played 4 seasons at the University of Utah before moving over to Denver.
We asked Mark Pope, how do you defend Bruner with his scoring prowess and as a guy that shoots 46% from 3? And we're going to go back and watch Bruner steal. Ball got stolen by Trey Stewart, and then watch Bruner. He waited for the opportunity and got it back. Mark Pope told us he's so proficient from 3. We actually want to run him off the 3-point line. We want to be there on the catch. Don't give him open 3 looks. If he's going to score, we want them to be inside that 3-point line. And BYU's done a really good job of being there on the catch so far.
Now up for 3. Out of bounds. Last touched by the Pioneers, and the Cougars will keep it. Pedro Lopez San Vicente checking back in. Trevin now 0 for 4, now 0 for 8 in his last 2 games, shooting the 3.
As you mentioned, he's not just sick tonight. He's been battling an illness for about a week and a half. And so his strength's not up. And I don't know if he's been getting as many shots as you normally get in, but he definitely would love to feel better here sometime in the very near future.
Here's Stewart looking for a lane to the basket. Kind of wheels and deals. Finds some space. Trey Stewart with his first 2.
Good footwork that time. Kept that pivot foot down. Rotated around the pivot foot.
Our officiating crew tonight, Gary Maxwell, Kelly Self, and Mike Reed. Brenchley takes it in. Bodies hit the floor, but Brenchley's got 4. And Jeff Woolburn said, I love the savvy that Brenchley plays with. A lot of experience. Atiki. Over to Stewart. Now Robinson. This will go to Denver. The miss was so bad it bounced all the way back to half court. No one was sure who touched it last. But the Pioneers get possession. BYU 55-10 at the Marriott Center under Mark Pope in his 5th season. Brenchley matched up with Saunders, pair of Utah kids. Bruner up for 3 over the long arms of Robinson. That didn't have a chance, and it's out of bounds.
You see, Jaxon Robinson got Bruner on a switch. Never left him to help. Was there when he came around the screen on the catch to defend. And then Jaxon Robinson is 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan up. That's how you contest a 3-point shot. No easy looks for Bruner in this game so far.
Pioneers are 0 for 5 shooting 3s. Robinson from way outside. Brenchley chases it down. There's outside and then there's way outside. Beautiful pass. And the finish by Tynamo. He's got 6. And the Cougars a little sloppy here. Turn it over. Takes us to a timeout. 7:54 to go. 24-16. BYU. You're on Big 12 now on ESPN.
Winning plays and make sure that we are winning, end quote. So guys, clearly he doesn't really care when he gets onto the floor, just that when he's on the floor, he wants his team to win.
Thank you, Spencer. And he leads that bench. They average 40 points a game, second most in the country.
And the thing I noticed about Jaxon Robinson this year, not only is he more confident on the offensive end, he has really dedicated himself to playing lights out defense on the other end. And that's why he gets extended minutes. He's on the game. It's on the floor at the end of games because they know he's going to give a big effort on both ends of the floor. Watch him at 6'7". And with that 7-foot wingspan, his lateral quickness is that of a guard. Look how difficult it is for Bruner to get by him.
Shot clock's at 2, so Bruner goes up. Nell on the rebound for BYU.
BYU not shooting the ball great from 3, obviously, in this game, 3 of 13. But they've been good again at offensive rebounding. That's an effort thing. They're +4 in offensive rebounding margin, +9 in second chance points. That's how they're ahead in this game right now. And they've been doing this game after game where they dominate the offensive glass.
Lob inside to Atiki. Back to Robinson, up for 3.
And then they do that. And then they get on a roll, and then they run away from people. At Utah, BYU had a miserable shooting night. They were in the game at the end because of their offensive rebounding prowess throughout the game. That kept them in the game.
6 points for Robinson. Johnson, Waterman, and Khalifa, and Craig check back in.
This is, in my opinion, the easiest kind of 3 to make. Inside-out 3s. So it's down in the post, and you're set with your feet square on that 3-point line, shoulders square in a shooting position. The ball comes out right at shooting level, and he catches it, and it's just an easy shot. Inside-out is the best way to get 3s.
Trevin Nell picked up his 2nd foul. He's out of the game. Here's Bruner. Slicing in. Waterman, his 6th rebound. Robinson calling for the ball in the corner. It's back to Waterman. Blocked from behind, at least partially deflected by Bruner. Now it's Bruner out ahead. And Waterman makes him have to change mid-flight, and the follow doesn't go. And Khalifa is fouled on the rebound. Good hustle to get down the floor for BYU.
We've seen Waterman do this more than once this season where he's trailing in the break, but he knows with his 6'11" height and his ability to bounce and get up off the floor that he can stop layups on the other end in transition. He did a great job again there. Hustle play by Waterman.
First foul on Isaiah Carr. BYU ball 27-16. Nearing the 6-minute mark of this first half. First of 5 straight home games for BYU. Robinson again. He's got 3 threes and 9 points.
And when he's feeling it, the ball just flicks the absolute bottom of the net. He's dead center, and the ball, you could just hear it snap through that net.
Bruner again into the tall timbers and denied. Robinson out ahead. Loses it on the dribble. Craig's got the steal. Inside the arc. And now it is Johnson chasing it down. Robinson another 3. Waterman fouled after the rebound by Craig as the pace has significantly increased over the last couple of minutes. BYU up 14. And that's the first foul on Craig.
And Denver's been doing a decent job defensively against BYU in this game. But on the offensive end, BYU's length has really caused this Pioneer team some problems making shots.
Hall for 3. Now they're all starting to drop. That's the first bucket for Hall. Biggest lead of the night so far for the Cougars.
Hey, Jeff Wilburn told us the problem to trying to defend BYU is that they have, at any time on the floor, 4 legitimate elite level 3-point shooters. How do you guard that when they're spread out and have good spacing?
Lopez, San Vicente. Denied by Hall. Here comes Craig. Swoops in with the one-hander.
Really nice shot by Craig over the top. Good help defense there in time. Craig, the freshman out of Mount Carmel in Chicago.
Khalifa has Johnson open for 3. Brenchley out with it. Waterman gets it to Hall. We come back the other way.
That's 8 boards now for Waterman here in the first half.
And bad pass by Hall and a turnover for BYU. Here's Brenchley. Craig slicing in. Denied by Robinson. And out of bounds. Stops the clock with 4:13 to go. Here's another look at Jaxon Robinson.
We've been talking about that ability to help on the defensive end. That's the 3rd block now for BYU in this game. But the jumping ability, that length, the timing, goes up and gets that.
Atiki is back in. Khalifa out for the Cougars. Tyson Garth returning for the Pioneers. Craig hands it over to Brenchley. Foul on the shot. That's Tyamo. And he'll be at the line when we come back. 3:57 to go here in the first half. Second foul on Atiki. Cougars up 33-18 here on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
When you get your
And at the line is Toku Tynamo.
Tynamo is 77.6% free throw shooter this season. Really skilled big man at 6'9" and 220. See the nice rotation on the ball.
Spencer just listening into the huddles. What do you got?
Well, we'll start with Coach Wilburn in Denver, who was really upset with his team and kept asking them, why are you not being aggressive? He feels like they're settling for, in his words, terrible shots, and pointed out that BYU's pace is affecting them too much, both offensively and defensively. Now, interestingly enough, in the BYU huddle, the BYU coaches said, our pace is giving them problems. So these coaches are on the same wavelength, guys.
Thank you, Spencer.
Well, and Coach Wilburn told us remember, and we're like, yes, we do remember this, that when you miss shots badly, it leads to easy buckets on the other end, long rebounds and transition buckets. And he said, we have to take smart, good shots tonight, and we have to take care of the ball. We're doing a decent job of taking care of the ball with just 4 turnovers. But I would agree with him. They've had some bad shots, long rebounds. BYU gets out and runs and gets easy buckets on the other end.
Craig's got it. Waterman with the block. Hall into the corner. Robinson. Now they'll try the other side to Waterman for 3.
Reward him for the block. He gets
Waterman.
the block and controlled the block, got the ball to the outlet, ran the floor, spaced himself out, and knocked down a 3.
He's knocking on the door of a double-double here in the first half. 8 points and 9 rebounds.
If you bring a kid and just illustrate exactly what Waterman did that whole time on defense and offense, and that is what you're supposed to do. Exactly what he did.
Johnson knocks the ball out of bounds.
He comes out, and this is help defense. Gets the block, controls the block, doesn't swat it. And then he runs the floor, spaces himself out on the floor, and gets a beautiful look at 3. That is just a fantastic job on both ends of the floor of doing what you're supposed to do. Coming over and helping, getting the ball out, and running the floor.
Already a career-high 9 rebounds for Waterman. Open 3 and knocked down. The shot is Ado Anka. His first bucket of the first half.
And Anka's been shooting. He's the second leading three-point shooter. Shoots 45% for this team. He has second most in attempts. 23 of 51. Now it's 24 of 52 for the season.
Robinson. Kickback Hall. Now it's Johnson. Back to Robinson from the corner. That's his 4th of the half. And 12 points.
And that was so pretty. Robinson passed on a 3 that was contested. Drove in. Then he gave the ball back up to the perimeter and ran to the opposite corner. BYU moved the ball all the way around the horn and found Robinson again. And when you're in an offense that you know, if I give the ball up and I move, I'll get it back. There's 1 pass, 2 pass, drive and kick, back to Jaxon Robinson in the other corner, this time wide open. Sharing the basketball, that mentality, that unselfish mentality makes you want to give it up and make a better pass.
Robinson from the other corner into the iron. And Craig's out with it for Denver. Under 2 minutes to go. Spencer will talk with Mark Pope here in a moment, get his assessment of this first half. And the story for BYU defensively is Bruner has just 2 points. Out ahead is Hall for 2. Assist to Waterman, and Hall's got 5.
BYU's length just continues to give this Pioneer offense problems.
Back-to-back turnovers by Carr. Bruner comes in, Carr goes out. Saturday afternoon, it's a Big 12 doubleheader on ESPN2. Texas and LSU, the first game in Houston. And then right after that one, it's Houston and Texas A&M. Both games on ESPN2 and the ESPN app on Saturday. Khalifa to Robinson for number 5. Not yet. And here's Bruner on the run. All the way in. And scores with 4 Cougars around him. He's got 4 points. Johnson to answer right back. Foul going up. He'll go to the line as Brenchley picks up his first. Boy, the pace just switched about 8 minutes ago.
It just really picked up.
BYU averaging over 95 points here at the Marriott Center, and they're sitting at 41 late in the first half. Feels like a few minutes ago they were at 22 and
we're thinking
looking for answers.
Denver's doing a pretty good job defensively, then BYU hurried him up.
Johnson's an 80% free throw shooter. We talked about his three-point percentage for his career, over 40%, just one of 12 in program history. Post Danny Ainge, when there wasn't a three-point line. Got his first Division I double-double at Utah on Saturday with 10 points and 11 rebounds. He's got 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists so far tonight. He's been a key figure in keeping Bruner from becoming a factor on the defensive side. Gets them both to go down. 7 now for Spencer Johnson. Final minute. And that Cougar lead back up to 18. And Johnson, BYU's best on-the-ball defender, assigned to Bruner. And he loses it out of bounds. Frustrating first half.
I like that Bruner has said, I'm not going to settle for contested threes. Like, these guys are too long. I am going to attack. And
he's an outstanding three-point shooter, but BYU has kept him in check. He's 0 for 3 shooting threes, and it seems like all 3 of them have been at the end of a shot clock with a guy in his face.
And with a long arm extended. It's like shooting it out of a silo.
Whenever you shoot out of a silo, it's hard
it's hard to make anything. It really is.
Hall for 3. Knocked out of bounds. That might have been get a shot off so you get an extra possession. Because they didn't waste any time putting one up. And they will get another possession with 37 seconds to go in a half. And the shot clock, about a 6-second difference. Craig Bruner steps inside the defense. It rattles out.
And that was a rare good look.
Waterman out ahead of everyone. And Noah Waterman with 10 points to go with his 10 rebounds. His first career double-double. And it comes in the first half.
He has been impressive. His effort level tonight has been off the charts. It's been really good.
Forced up again. Waterman another rebound. Here's how the half will end. And one of the best for Noah Waterman after a frustrating Saturday up in Salt Lake when he went 0 for 6 shooting the long ball. And he has come back with fire. And BYU
to put back there, really active on the glass, as we know, with a double-double in the first half. Not afraid to shoot that 3. Had good rotation on the ball in this one. On the defensive end, he was a stopper. His length caused all kinds of problems for the Pioneers. And, he really was the catalyst for all of BYU's energy defensively. And how about Denver coming out and knocking down a 3?
That's Pedro Lopez San Vicente, his 5th point.
The third year veteran who's been in this program. Last year's a sophomore. Just played 8.7 minutes a game, but played 25 games.
Isaiah Addo Ankra picks up the foul, trying to get in Ali Khalifa's way, and that's his first. So we anticipate a much more aggressive Pioneer team. Yeah. That seemed to be the mantra coming out of the locker room, and we'll see how BYU answers that.
And they've got to, on that defensive end, they've got to anticipate, well.
How's the answer there?
And that's Ali Khalifa. And that's what we talk about, that elite passing. 12 points now for Noah Waterman. But the cut, and Khalifa at 6'11", has just an uncanny feel for where his teammates are on the floor and how to get them the basketball. He just visualizes.
He's got 16 straight assists without a turnover. Just think about that.
He's played. This is his 7th game. He's only had a turnover in 1 game, and he's had 2.
Jaxon Brenchley knocks down the 3.
And how about Denver coming out and getting 2 straight threes to start this second half?
Brenchley, that's just his 4th on the season. Now it's Johnson looking into Khalifa. Backdoor cut. And Johnson's going to the line to shoot 2.
His ability to bounce pass it with his back to his teammate. Like, watch this one. That was beautiful. This last one that drew the foul for Johnson was even better than this one, the Waterman one.
And we were talking with the staff about Khalifa. Does he practice those passes? And they said, well, he goes to practice. But the passing skill is just who he is.
And, Mark Pope told us, I'm not sure you can teach somebody to have kind of that spatial awareness of where everybody is on your team on the floor, and when they make a move, immediately process it at a high speed how you're going to get him the basketball, whether it's bounce pass, lob pass, whatever it is. He has a remarkable talent and skill to do that.
He had some passes Saturday up at Utah that were just next level. Johnson with 9 points.
Yeah, 7 games, 6 without a turnover, and 1 game with 2 turnovers. And he's just building on that 11.2 assist per turnover. It's up over 12 now.
Hard drive to the basket. Khalifa denies Lopez San Vicente. Hall to Khalifa. Now Johnson maneuvering around. Gets it back to Hall. 10 on the shot clock. Into Khalifa. How about that move? Off the glass and in. It's 4th point.
When he's been passing the ball and distributing it, now as a defender, you're standing off a little bit saying, where's he going to get this ball out? And immediately puts his body on you and spins to the baseline and goes right by it.
He's a great three-point shooter. Once that shot shows up, he's just going to be so tough to defend. Honorable mention, Conference USA last year. Out there to discourage the shot. Here come the Cougars, up by 20. Waterman again. 2 dunks off 2 Khalifa assists here in the second half.
And Waterman, he's loving it. He's out there going, I know if I make a move and cut hard to the basket, the big guy's going to get me the ball in a great spot to score. What great confidence he has in Khalifa to get him the ball. Largest
lead of the night for BYU. Bruner coming in. And a good-looking shot off the glass for his 6th point.
You see how quickly he got it up. He knew that Waterman was trailing him, so he didn't take the normal. He just quickly got it up, almost on his way up on the jump, got the ball on the glass.
Khalifa, well, whenever he's got the ball now, you just expect something spectacular to happen. Here he goes up, leaves it short. High on the rebounds, Jaxon Brenchley. 6 boards for Brenchley. And draws a foul. He's going to go to the line and shoot 2.
Brenchley, you know, we heard, hey, they're going to be more aggressive. Brenchley's come out with that mindset. He took the ball right at Khalifa that time and created contact to get to the free throw line.
Out of Providence, Utah, went to Mountain Crest High School in northern Utah, and then, as mentioned, 4 years at the University of Utah. And Jeff Wolbrun is just so thrilled to have Brenchley here for this season.
Coming out of high school, number 3 rated player in the state of Utah, and played 95 games there, 19 games last season he appeared in.
Here's what's dangerous about BYU, as we're reminded as Robinson checks in. That barrage of points happened with their leading scorer on the bench.
Right.
And now he's in along with Atiki, Ali Atiki. One of 2. 8 points now for Jaxon Brenchley. Robinson for 3.
And he doesn't take any time to warm up. Like, comes off the bench, he's ready to roll.
He's got 5.
It's like the arm is ready, it's warm, it's ready to shoot.
Here come the Cougars again. Atiki with it. Hands it off to Hall, and then Lalab comes back, and the foul! What a move by Atiki, mid-air. And he'll go to the free throw line. Second foul on Otto Ankra.
This is a pick and roll, and when they switch, and the smaller man ends up on Atiki, and he has him on his hip, Downhall knows right where he's going to go. This is a really nice finish. Great catch by the big guy and a good finish while being fouled. BYU's offensive efficiency in the second half, the way they're moving the basketball and scoring with assists, has been really impressive.
Junior out of Tanzania has 3 points. 59-34. Cougars keep changing up the defense. Turn around. Chuck. That one not close by Otto Ankra. Hall again. Trying to feed Johnson and Brenchley out with a steal. And now Brenchley taking it in. Left-handed scoop. 10 points for Brenchley.
He's shown his leadership and his physicality here in the second half, saying, listen, I'll carry you guys if you need me to, and I'll take good shots, and I'll get to the rim.
Tiki sizing things up down low. And that's DeAndre Craig on the rebound, quickly down the floor. Beautiful dish. And the dunk by Isaiah Carr. His fourth.
How about the assist on that? First of all, great ball fake, and then an unselfish play to draw the defense. So you go by one defender, you draw another defender. Now somebody's going to be open. Well played.
Robinson has it stripped away.
Back-to-back turnovers for BYU now on the offensive end.
Another quick release three. And Otto Enkrith is in a hurry to get some shots up. That's out of bounds. It'll belong to the Pioneers when we come back. 14:28 to go here in the second half. 59-38 Cougars.
Around quick, like a receiver with a great quarterback.
So he's now up to 17 assists without a turnover. That's quite a run.
Well, and BYU is, he's got him in this mood of assisting. In the game, BYU's 14 assists on 22 field goals. That's a 64%. That's really good. In the second half, there are 5 field goals. 4 of those have been assisted.
Stewart lobs to Johnson. Beautiful steal and the dish and the finish. Spencer with 11. Trey Stewart comes into the game and in a matter of seconds makes something happen. Richie Saunders knocks the ball away. He's in for BYU as well.
So 5 assists on 6 field goals here in the second half. And some of them have been spectacular.
Tyson Garf going to throw it in for Denver. This is Garf on the baseline to Brenchley. Craig with it. Shot clock's at 6. Slashing in. Atiki flying high. And he brings down the rebound. And we got a whistle and a foul on the reach. And this will go against Denver.
That was it. You don't get a block for that. I don't think Atiki actually got a piece of it. There should be a stat for big men called shots changed.
Yeah.
And Atiki changes a lot of shots in there.
Second foul on Isaiah Carr. 4 team fouls on the Pioneers. Just 1 on BYU. Three, good. Robinson quietly hanging out. Now he's got 6 threes on the night, 18 points. He's not even messing with twos.
He doesn't need to mess with twos tonight.
He's like, I'm just going to stand out here. Just kind of hiding, and all of a sudden you can see Jeff Wolverine just going, oh no, how did he get left so open? Brenchley on the drive and the foul. He'll go to the line and a chance at a 3-point play. Tiki picks up the foul.
The one really big bright spot in the second half for the Pioneers has been this guy Brenchley, who has just been determined and playing with a great level of toughness here in the second half. He's 5 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. He's got 6 boards, 2 assists, and 12 points as he toes the line here.
Trevenell is in. You see Johnson go out. 3 fouls on Atiki. And a 3-point play for Brenchley
so
as Bruner checks in. Brenchley will check out. And Bruner's frustrating night. He's looking to just get something going. 3 of 12 from the field. 0 for 5 shooting threes for the nation's number 3 leading scorer.
He's clearly been a marked man in this game where BYU's just like, wherever he is, mark him, find him. Do not let him catch the ball without having somebody in his face.
Saunders hands it off to Stewart. The shot clock's under 10. Nell up for 3. And it is Craig coming out with it. Wastes little time getting down the floor. Here's Bruner. Round and round it goes. And there's a foul. And it's on Saunders, his first. Nell is now 0 for 5. Shooting threes tonight. And 0 for his last 9. The red hot Waterman returns, and Atiki will sit down with those 3 fouls. Georgia State is here on Saturday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern. And Big 12 now on ESPN+. Now Bruner's looking up going, how am I supposed to shake a 6'10" guy? This is Craig. Shot clock under 10.
Well, the help has been really good on this set down.
Inside the arc, up for 2. And Waterman with another rebound. That's his 12th. Jackson Robinson with 6 3-pointers here tonight. Nell on the drive. Robinson for 7. Rebound Waterman. And he's fouled. He'll go to the line. What an effort by Noah Waterman tonight. He'll be at the line when we come back. 11:55 to go here in the second half. 64-41.
National travel as you get ready for 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics. So what's the next step for you in pursuit of the gold medal in Paris?
Yeah, so we have a little bit of time off. We just had our last tournament for the season, which was great. And now we're, in a mode where we got to get the body healthy, get back into it. But then in a couple months, we'll really start diving into it, right, and get ourselves together as a group. And for that next 5-6 months, we'll be on tour trying to play in big tournaments, get our team together, and make sure that we're ready to go for the Olympics. So it's going to be a good time.
Now, your teams that you played on at BYU had high metrics, just like this Mark Pope coach team does. At this juncture of the season, what advice would you give to this BYU basketball team?
Stay the course. Obviously, this is a part of the schedule where they can go through and be able to win 4 games in a row if they play good basketball. And then that's going to be big going into the Big 12, being 12-1, something around that, which would be huge. Good confidence builder, knowing that there's a gauntlet ahead, right? So being prepared, staying healthy, and making sure that they're mentally prepared every day to go against some of the best teams in the country.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. A lot of guys are doing good things for BYU. Individually speaking, who's caught your attention tonight and through much of this early season? Yeah,
Jackson's the guy that's really been just phenomenal off the bench. He's their leading scorer off the bench, scoring and shooting at a really high clip. He's shooting high 40s in the three-point line, but also he's shooting over 90% from the free throw line as well. So he's been a guy. And then Noah, I feel like he's brought such a great spark for them this year, shooting the ball really well compared to last year, and then rebounding and just playing hard. So it's been fun to watch those two progress, and those guys are driving the force right now.
Well, it's great to have you in the building, Jimmer, and great to have you on set. How would you explain your first quote-unquote broadcast experience doing this for ESPN+?
It's been such a great experience. It's just, I feel like I'm in my element. Talking basketball with some great guys, and to be able to do it with BYU's team that's so close to my heart has been such a fun time. I'm following all the games anyway, so why not talk about it on air?
Jimmer, it's great to have you again. We wish you the best of luck in your pursuit of a gold medal, and we'll look forward to hearing from you in the postgame.
Sounds good. Thanks, Spence. Appreciate it.
Dave and Blaine, take it away.
Thanks, Spencer. A win tonight will give BYU a 9-1 record, their best start since Jimmer's senior year, when the Cougars won their first 10 games of the season.
That was, you start talking about talent and all of that, you go back to that Jimmer team. This team is an extremely talented bounce. They don't have superstar like Jimmer, although Jaxon Robinson's starting to make a case for being a star. Mark Pope told us last year he has the chance to be a star, and he's certainly doing that. But
look, he just goes and sits down right at center court. That's
what you get to
Jimmer power right there.
But it's this is a basketball team that is really, really balanced with a lot of talent and a lot of lateral quickness and length to play defense. When we talked to Jeff Wilburn, the head coach for Denver, we said compare this BYU team that you've seen on tape now as you prepared to Colorado State, who's a top 15 team. And he goes, Colorado State's really good at what they do, and they're an excellent team. They're big. He goes, but BYU probably athletically, just pure athleticism and length and skill and lateral quickness is probably better.
Here's Hall. Shot clock's under 10. Waterman in the corner. And Johnson pulls down the rebound. Steps behind the arc. And here's Bruner, who a moment ago got him to his 10th point. Johnson pulls down the rebound. They had the lob there, but couldn't finish. Now from the corner. And Hall convinces that one to go in. 8 points for Hall.
And for Denver, you go down and you have a chance to get an alley-oop transition bucket, and you miss. Instead, BYU just takes it out, pushes it up the floor, and get a transition three on the other end.
There's Bruner. You see his ability to get to the bucket, scores over Waterman, and he'll go to the line.
And that's what he does so well. That quick first step, acceleration, get his shoulders and hips in front, draw contact, and finish with his strength through contact. That's what he does, and we haven't seen much of that today because BYU's help defense has been there. But that's a glimpse of what he's going to do in that league this year.
Second foul on Waterman. Bruner started at Jacksonville, and he gets the free throw to go. Senior out of Columbia, South Carolina.
Well, 88.2% free throw shooter, 83.5 career free throw shooter. So he gets to the line, and then he converts when he gets there.
Hall on the drive, finds Robinson. Up for three. There's number 7.
And that breaks his own record. His most ever is 6 against Fresno State, so he's at 7. Now he's starting to chase some other records. Most three-pointers off a bench is a tie between Mike Rose and Matt Carlino of 8. Is the most anybody's ever made at BYU off the bench. And the most ever made in a game by a BYU player is, who else would you think but Chase Fisher, who had 10 threes in a game.
Fisher could light it up. I thought you were baiting me for Jimmer. There's number 8.
There's 8. So now he's tied. Mike.
Well, they'll call
it a 2.
So his first 2 of the night on a 3-point barrage. After looking at the video, our crew, Gary Maxwell, Kelly Self, and Mike Reed, determined a foot was on the line, and so that's why the score is 75-48 coming out of the timeout. 9 minutes to play here in Provo. BYU 8-1, Denver 6-4. Brenchley off the glass over Atiki.
And that's 15 now for Brenchley, who's been a star, especially here in the second half.
A miscommunication, and BYU turns it over on the inbounds pass. And so Denver will stay down on this end of the floor and keep the basketball.
And that's 11 turnovers now for BYU in the game. Still 8 minutes to play, and BYU likes to keep it around 11, 12. Is not a bad number for them. The way they push the basketball up and down the floor, if they can keep it at 12 or under, they're having a good game. And I mentioned Brenchley having a great game, 15 points. 11 of those have been here in the second half, where he's come out with a real purpose.
Saunders comes up with a loose ball out ahead to Johnson.
And that's the 10th turnover now for the Pioneers.
And ball knocked out of bounds by Bruner.
And 10 turnovers, 8:28 to go. This is a Pioneer team that averages just 7 turnovers a game. Or take that back, 9 turnovers a game. It's 7th in the country.
Hall for 3. Tiki on the rebound. And Hall goes back into Atiki. Been working on that move. And on the rebound is Tynamo. Craig saw an opening.
Great quickness.
Slashes in.
He got by. I love the way he put his body and basically stacked the defender behind him and down Hall. And BYU's bigs were not paying attention, didn't get over to cut off that driving lane, but great body position by Craig. Just a freshman, a really smart player.
Robinson for 3. That's number 8.
There's number 8.
And he was so far back that he left, no doubt, 26 points, which is a new career high for Robinson.
So is Chase Fisher's all-time 10 record at risk here, you think? Is he going to be in the game long enough to get that?
Well, you could say Mark Pope should go to his bench, but he is from the bench.
That's right.
10 seconds on the shot clock. And Brenchley is held up. There was a lot of banging there on that entire possession, but one finally called, and it's Johnson on the foul. 7:22 to go. Robin, Kansas State on New Year's Day, and his passing lane was off the charts. And we even built a chart.
Yeah, it's on the charts now. But when he was doing it, it was off the charts. Yeah, his Steve Sarkisian's senior season was a special season for BYU. Unbelievably talented team, but he was so efficient.
Wish him the best of luck. in the college football playoff. 78-55.
Jaxon Robinson still in the game, chasing that record 10th. He could tie Jimmer Fredette for second with one more at 9 made threes in the game. It seems like Jimmer made 9 a lot of times. Am I wrong? I don't think he did, but it seems like everything was a 3 with Jimmer.
Atiki picks up his 4th foul and all of that as we check in with Spencer.
Well, let's go ahead and qualify this 8 3-point performance by Jaxon Robinson again. He's tied Mike Rose for the most threes made by a bench player with 8. So he can take over that lead with one more and tie Jimmer. But yeah, as you mentioned, Blaine, chasing Chase Fisher's unbelievable 10 made threes against Chaminade back playing in Hawaii a few years back.
Let's give Mike Rose a little shout out. When he was on, he was lights out shooting that 3-point shot. And the free throw bounces in for DeAndre Craig.
DeAndre Craig out of Mount Carmel, Chicago. First team All-City. He was the MVP of the Chicago Catholic League. Really nice-looking freshman that, you know, if Coach Wolverine can get him to stay 4 years, he's going to have a big impact. Averaged 19.9 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 3.8 assists last year in high school. And he's already the best on-the-ball defender on this team as a freshman. That's saying something because freshmen usually need to learn how to play defense.
Saunders is out. Waterman's in. BYU's bench has outscored Denver 39-8. And the Cougars have a 36-9 edge from the 3-point line tonight. Johnson looks into Atiki, now makes his move. Knocked out of bounds. And it's going to go to the Pioneers.
Mark Pope up on the floor out as far as he can get. He's telling the guys, let's go, guys. Let's push the ball a little bit. Get some thrust here and get aggressive on defense. I think he feels a little bit of a, kind of almost like a settle down, a little bit of a letdown right now with the intensity level that they've been playing with. BYU's played like their hair's on fire most of this game.
Bruner has to go up with a shot clock winding down. Johnson.
Here comes the
on
pace.
The rebound. Robinson right there for number 9. Followed by Waterman.
And appropriate if Robinson misses that Waterman puts it back, and now 18 points for him.
And Waterman, to his career high is 24. He had a double-double in the first half, so he's putting together a special evening as well. And there's Waterman with a block, denying Bruner.
He's got 14 rebounds as well. So this is rebound number 14, point number 18 for Noah Waterman. And it's like Jaxon Robinson's been so spectacular shooting threes, you almost forget how ridiculous Waterman has been on both ends of the floor today.
Here comes Hall. Lob for Atiki. Over to Robinson. Open for a 3. It feels like the Cougars know Waterman's close to making some history. They keep feeding him.
Bruner, smart play on the end of transition. Took it to the other side of the rim to keep Waterman from being able to get to the ball and could finish in transition there.
Here's Hall. Slicing in. Nobody got in his way.
You think these guys know that Jaxon is close to the record? You think they know this, that Robinson is close to the record? Because it looks like they're looking for him right now.
9 points for Hall. Brenchley over Waterman. A whistle on the rebound. It's going to go against BYU. It's on Johnson, his second.
Go back and watch this. Calling it on a rebounding foul.
All right. Well, the foul was called right in front of the rock, and they didn't appreciate it either.
Yeah, and he may. What we couldn't see, because our views from the back of Spencer Johnson, he had his arm held. That's the only thing I could think of there.
Johnson goes out. Saunders is in. 4:40 to go. And Saunders on the rebound. Give and go. And it went. Third dunk of the night for Waterman. 20 points.
Not only has he played defense, not only has he shot the ball well, the way he has been cutting so aggressively and hard and moving without the ball has been very impressive tonight.
Craig's got it, and we near 4 minutes. Shot clock's at 7. And out of bounds, and a turnover. Lopez Savicente gives it back to BYU. 11th turnover for the Pioneers. Timeout, 3:56 to go. 84-59. And the tandem. The Cougars also around the globe. Tanzania, Mali, and Egypt. And then, if you figure in church missions on the two rosters, you add in Argentina, England, Guam, Uruguay, Italy, and Taiwan. You got the whole world here.
A lot of languages can be spoken out on that floor.
The lob for Atiki.
Beautiful pass by Robinson, getting the ball to Atiki. Big size advantage in there right now for Atiki Ali Atiki.
BYU averaging just over 95 points a game at home. 3-point shot from the corner. Good look by Lopez San Vicente. All right, if they're interested in getting Robinson the record, they got to start running some plays for him. Let's see what happens here. They seem to be running plays for Atiki. And a turnover. Brenchley's got it. Collides with Richie Saunders. So Saunders is from Riverton, Utah, and Brenchley's from Providence, Utah. And they are battling tonight. Both served church missions, and there's a chance they played high school ball against each other, although Richie's just a sophomore. Brenchley is a grad student, so probably missed each other.
These are the 14th and 15th free throw attempts for this Pioneer team in this game. Oh, the Grinch made it out.
That's right. Earlier, he was sitting all by himself, and I thought, no one wants to befriend the Grinch.
So yeah, exactly.
Now they have.
Everybody's around him. It's the holiday season.
Waterman, big night.
I remember when he came, his heart was probably 3 sizes too small. But now it's probably fine. Yeah, Brenchley now with this is the 15th attempt. Keep in mind, this team, the Pioneers, are number 8 in the country in free throw attempts per game, 27.5. And so for BYU, one of the big goals that Mark Pope gave us was to guard without fouling.
There's number 9 short. Robinson chases it down. Brenchley, by the way, having a career night with 17. Back to Robinson. Stewart's got it. Maneuvering in. And Brenchley brings it out.
Brenchley with 7 boards now to go with his career scoring.
Bruner into the corner, an open look for 3. That one rattles out for Addo Ankra. Now Robinson around the back. Takes it in for 2. What a night for Jaxon Robinson. 28 points.
That was just nasty right there.
And he has put on a show tonight. Brenchley, who's also put on a show. His career night will expand as Atiki fouls out. And this a moment ago from Mr. Showtime,
around the
Jaxon
back.
Robinson.
And then the fake. He got Brenchley going out to the corner. But first, the around the back right here.
Here comes the crowd for Robinson as he leaves. What a night for Jaxon Robinson. 8 of 16 shooting the 3. 28 points, 4 assists.
10 of 19 from the field overall.
We'll see him again on Saturday night. What's he going to do on Saturday night? You got to watch.
Come join us. How can anybody shoot a free throw into what's behind that bucket?
Brenchley's going to give it a shot. Offensive board. Back to Brenchley. Up for 2 more. He's got 21.
21 and 7 boards for Brenchley. Back in his home state, really putting on a show.
Backdoor cut. McGregor had a good look. From the corner for 3, and just has not been dialed in for Addo Ankra. And 1 for 4 from distance.
5 of 21 for Denver tonight from that 3-point line. 12 of 36 for BYU. Remember Mark Pope told us at the beginning of the year, we probably want to average around 35 3-point attempts a game. And we kind of looked at each other like, is he serious? Guys, he was serious.
Ben Bowen on the miss.
He was serious. And this team definitely has an identity of what they want to do on both ends of the floor.
9-1. Best start since the 2010-2011 season for BYU. The net ranking of 3. National ranking of 18. Brenchley on the miss. Bowen with the rebound. Nice scoop in for his first 2. Sophomore out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado. I'll tell you, the Pioneers are going to fight to the end. And a foul is called. And it is Addo Ankra picking up the foul.
And interestingly, here we are with 53 seconds. BYU's still not in the bonus. It's only 16 fouls this half on Denver, 10 on BYU. So a double bonus for Denver.
Well, the last time Denver defeated a Power 5 team was 23 years ago tonight when they beat Oregon State. And it's not going to happen tonight, as Hayhurst is heading over to the free throw line to shoot 1-1.
There's 7 team fouls now, so for the first time in the game with 44 seconds, BYU's in the bonus.
It's not Hayhurst going to the line, it's Townsend Triple. From Meridian, Idaho. Hayhurst is from Eagle, Idaho. And Triple is now 8 of 9 from the free throw line in his first year at BYU. More substitutions come in. Denver's going to slip to 6-5. BYU 6-0 at home, 9-1 on the season. And they're home on Saturday, and then next Friday, and then January 30th, Saturday to wrap up, or December 30th to wrap up the 2023 business. And then they stay home for Cincinnati in the Big 12.
And as you mentioned, we were showing scores tonight and upcoming games that Cincinnati has had a great start to their first year in the Big 12 as well.
Bowen with his 4th. Stewart into the corner. Saunders for 3. And out ahead is Bowen. He's got 6 points off the bench here in the last minute or so. He'll remember his Marriott Center visit as the final seconds will tick away. Cougars bounce back from that disappointing loss up in Salt Lake City. Saw a lot of good. Saw some spectacular play from Noah Waterman. A double-double. Spencer Johnson back-to-back double-doubles. And then Jaxon Robinson was the man of the hour.
What I was looking for was to see if BYU would come back with some resilience and some fight after a tough loss. That's a tough game to kind of shake off.